which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
He finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure you're back. You spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders in the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
They run once more with Henderson. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have the Raiders first down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2. Working out of the gun, Williams. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Finds Johnston. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 19. Looking to throw. Williams. That'll be swung out wide here for Henderson. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout. So as they talk it over, we step aside.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
Back to throw. Williams. And they drop him for a loss, but penalty markers are on the field. Let's see about the call. Well, that flag puts them on their heels a little bit more defensively as the officials walk it upfield.
Yeah, and they can blame the officials all they want, but bottom line, it's their own fault because, to me, that was an avoidable call. Stay focused and avoid major mistakes like that.
So now then, the penalties got him set up with a 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Williams. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Tyreek Hill in the final seconds of the first half. And the Raiders have a chance to tie the game here in the final seconds of the half. Extra point good by Prater. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So not much time to work with here. 9 seconds remain in the half as this one is away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Okay, break. Ready.
To throw is Ward. A final shot before break. And his throw is going to be incomplete. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
3,
Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles, so as we start the third quarter. Curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one. And we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee-wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. From the shotgun, it's Ward. And that is incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it, and that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
The offense going to stay out there. They've converted once, failed once. What can they do here on 4th down? And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Henderson now on 1st and 10. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right, he's pretty much been completely neutralized. Again, it's Henderson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. In motion, Hill. Throwing is Williams. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Elijah Moore, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders have taken the lead. So it takes them just 3 plays here to find the end zone. And you remember, of course, this was all set up by their defense.
Yeah, they got the stop on 4th down, so I imagine the offense said to their defense, thank you very much for this great starting field position. And like you said, 3 plays later, they're in the end zone.
Broncos 14. Michael Dixon set to kick off.
On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Oh, able to avoid him. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Charles, we know that this offense is aggressive. We saw that last drive. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. Then they give up the touchdown, so now you feel like they really need to respond here.
They certainly do, but let's face it, sometimes when you take that risk, you understand if you fail, a little more onus goes back on your ball club to try and pick themselves back up.
Corum now on 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 13 and a Denver 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 48-yard line. To throw is Ward. Over the middle here to Brown. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. A wild throw there, and it is intercepted. And the Raiders are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
A feather in the cap for the defender, picking off one of the league's better quarterbacks so far this season, and add another feather in the cap for the coaches, too. Excellent game plan, and they had their guys aware of his ability to roll out and how to defend against it.
They'll start on the ground with Henderson. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
On play action, here's Williams. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Daniil Hunter able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
To throw, it's Williams. And going deep for Hill. And this is caught inside the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Boy, this has just been an offensive clinic. It's seemingly been one big play after another, and add this one on to the list. When you can bite off more than half the field on one play, things are definitely working in your favor.
Slam left! Slam left!
Henderson is not going to get a whole lot, maybe a yard down to the 3. Only a yard on the gain there as time will run out on this 3rd quarter of play. 4th quarter coming up here on Thursday Night Primetime. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Once more with Henderson. But he will go backwards as he stopped for a loss. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up. The loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. They'll look to throw for it with Williams. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. So a big sack for a loss of 4. It brings up 4th and goal. Prater's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
Michael Dixon set to kick off.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. KJ Hamler returning it. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a two-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Ready.
Play action now. Ward. Throw left side complete. That's Brown. 2 yards on the pickup there. And it'll be second down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. An inside give. Brown. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 146 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
First and 10 at the
65.
38-yard line.
They go right back to the ground here, and Brown. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it second and 4.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a second and 4.
Let's go. Ready.
Throwing is Ward. That ball caught. It's Rice. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Rashee Rice, 32 yards. And the Broncos have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. Lutz with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter.
Broncos 21. Will Lutz to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. Their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here first and 10. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. From the gun, here's Williams. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
To throw, Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down.
Good clean play, no flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3-and-out.
And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. They'll go. Here's Williams. And it's going to be batted down. And we'll go the other way with the football. The Raiders trying on 4th down, but to no avail. And that will force a turnover on downs. Here's 1st and 10.
Hey, check that, check that. Here we go, set.
This is Brown going up the middle to about the 26 here.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. Here comes 2nd down.
Go, Reed, go.
Right back to Brown. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Tackled back at the 28-yard line.
18 Rattler, 18 Rattler. Ready.
He'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to get out of bounds with the 1st down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the 1st and save a timeout.
The 11-yard line.
Get it. Ready.
From the gun to give to Brown. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Tyler Warren from 10 yards out. And the Broncos have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. Looks good on the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And able to get this out to the 25. This is 1st and 10. Back to throw. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
But just over a minute to go in the football game. 2nd and 10. Back to throw. He gets it to Johnston. And wrangled down quickly just past the 40 at the 41.
That's good for Las Vegas.
He's back to throw. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's what they need right now. Get the 1st down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
All 3 timeouts still at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10 now. They'll look to throw. They'll swing this out to Henderson.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Second down, 8 yards to go. To the air once more, Williams. Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked off by DeMarvion Overshow. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line.
Williams pass intercepted. The Broncos take over first and 10 at the 46-yard line.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Cougar 19.
Here's Ward. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
Here we go. Taxi Lion. Taxi Cardinal.
Throwing now, Ward. That is caught. And even though he gets out of bounds to stop the clock, it's not going to matter. That first down going to be enough to write a finish to this one.
Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this fourth quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
And he's across for the late touchdown. And in the final seconds, that one should just about put a camper on this game. Lutz with the extra point. And that pushes the lead up to 11. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll be out of bounds here, a yard shy of the 25 at the 24. They'll come up first and 10 here. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that is going to officially draw the curtain on this one as the last throw intercepted. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. So a fourth quarter pick six here, and that one might put this game out of reach, CD.
I certainly agree with that, partner. And I know one thing, that team that just got the pick six, they're going to keep playing until this one's over. Better be careful. They're looking to get another one.
Well, partner, under the lights in primetime, this offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away with what will certainly be a memorable win for them.
Well, Brandon, I think it's as simple as this. Some players, some teams, they're just meant for the big stage. And when they get a chance to play in this type of atmosphere, where all eyes are on them and all the lights are shining brightly, they show up and they show out.
So for the Broncos, they keep on rolling 10-0 now to start the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gunn. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.